What am I saying again?
This is MPW,
MPW.
the podcast
with your host, Xylo Aria.
Cool.
A podcast about music production
For the everyday musician.
where we learn from experienced studio engineers and each other.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the MPW podcast. I'm your host, Xylo Aria, and today we are talking to the amazing J.O.N. So J.O.N. is a Grammy-winning Atlanta-based singer-songwriter and music producer, and he's worked with so many incredible artists, including Missy Elliott, Cody Shane, Neo, and loads more. He also runs a label called Denmark Tigers and works heavily in microsync and synchronization. So lovely to have you with us today, J.O.N. How are you going?
I'm excellent. How are you doing, Xylo? Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, such a pleasure. And we've kept you up a little bit, maybe late today, or maybe you're a night bird as well. But I do know you're an early bird. But thank you for doing this with us at 10 p.m. your time. How's your day been today?
My day has been excellent, actually. I got up, started my morning routine, fresh and early, and I feel good. I always feel good once I get up and get going, and according to my plan and my planner and whatnot. So.
Yeah. Oh, huge difference the morning routine
Huge
makes.
difference.
So take us through yours. What does yours entail?
All right, so first and foremost, I have to be up about 5 to 5:30 a.m. I feel like once I get up and get to the gym, my day really starts. And for me, just going and first thing, getting my blood pumping, it just sets the course of my day. Pushing through a workout, something about it just sets the course for the day for you to push through the day. So that's first and foremost. Then once I get back, get cleaned up, I start doing some reading and I practice. I play a couple different instruments, but guitar is what I mainly do. I'm with the 85 South Show and different bands. And so definitely practice guitar. And then I start my day with I may start with a tutorial, maybe go through some sounds or a plugin that I recently bought that I need to learn. And then after I do that warm up, as to say, then I start my work. I start creating, depending on what I have in the planner. Could be finishing some music, could be a studio session, but I just try to maximize my day as best I can. So, it starts with that routine for me. What about you? What's your morning routine?
So my morning routine is not that early. I don't consider myself a morning person, but I usually try to get up before 7 is good for me.
That's
So
good.
before 7, and I will try and get out the door and either go for a run or a bike ride every morning. And like you said, it makes a huge difference. And, and then people always ask me, oh, are you training for a half marathon or something? But, that's not really my thing. But I feel like every day I push an extra just 200 meters. It's not much,
Ooh.
but it'll get me to like an additional kind of 8K for the year, which is good.
It's pretty good.
And then after that, I will sit and do my meditation. That is very, very important for me. If not, I'm just all over the place. And then sometimes I might sit and do a bit of a journal as well. And that really helps just to clear my mind. And sometimes you have a lot of things running around, and I find with my journaling, things come out that I didn't even know were there. So I find that quite useful. And then I get into my work, which is often starting with emails. But yeah, so that's mine. So you mentioned reading. What are you reading at the moment?
So there's a few books. There's this one book. It's called, I have it actually on my desktop, The 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing. It's a really, really good book. I actually found it a recommendation from Nipsey Hussle. It's one of the books that was in his collection that he recommended. And it's really good. A really great book about marketing, easy read, broken down with really great real world examples. And so that's inspiring for me when it comes to my music, because a lot of the music is less about music and more about marketing that music. And so, think about it. You can have a song that's trash, but if it's properly marketed, it'll get traction, versus If you believe that your music is not trash, how much more so should we do the due diligence? And we put so much work into a song. The least we can do is put as much effort into making sure people hear it. So the marketing is very important. So that's something I've been focused on a lot lately. Is the marketing for sure.
Cool.
And I want to
No,
say
I
something
like that.
back up to our routines. It's like you and I, we give a lot of ourselves to other people, and that's really our profession. I think what we do is it's a customer service job, right? So it's important that we first and foremost sow into ourselves and pour into ourselves and start our day that way. I think if you start the day that way, living the lifestyle that we live, you can be at your best and give your best to other people. But if you don't spend that time with yourself, you don't have a relationship with yourself, with that routine, whether it be morning or whatever you need it to be, it's really hard to do that, to really be yourself and give your best of yourself and give and add value to other people, in my experience. So it's very important for sure.
Yes, no, totally agree. And yeah, I mean what you were saying about marketing as well, I feel like I've been learning a lot about sales and marketing and sales. I feel like all of this area just has a bit of a negative connotation, and people are like,
True.
oh, I don't want to be salesy, or I don't really want to do the marketing thing and all that. But in today's world, I feel like it's a skill that's completely transferable, and it's not just about, selling something. Well, it's definitely not about selling something to someone that doesn't want it or can't gain from it, but actually teaches you so much about communication and how to actually help someone and show them that maybe you could potentially add value that they didn't even know that they needed. So I think these things is crucial, especially in an industry like music, and people maybe don't give it enough credit. So that's great as well. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it's so funny that you say that because it does have a negative connotation, but the people who have that negative connotation, they're not aware enough to sit back and think that you're constantly being sold and marketed to, whether you realize it or not. On your phone, on your television, talking with friends. Like you're constantly people spend millions and billions of dollars just to market and promote to you. And so it's like it's like you're either being marketed or promoted to, or you're marketing and promoting. And I think that with this music industry, it's important to understand that the music isn't done once the music is done. Like it's really the beginning. And if you're in this for the long haul, you want to make a career out of it. And when I say career, I don't necessarily mean rich. I mean lasting music career, making music, doing what you love, getting your music out there. You have to consider the importance of marketing. It's just as important as you studying your craft and your production and your songwriting, in my opinion. Because again, what good is your song if nobody hears it?
Yes, for sure, for sure. Okay, well, I feel like we could have a whole other episode on marketing, and maybe we will.
For sure, for sure. I'm with it. I'm
But
with it.
but today we are talking about music publishing. So something that you're very passionate about, and also something that I think a lot of artists maybe don't really know about, or it's a little bit. It can be a bit of a confusing topic for a lot of people. So we're hoping that you can break that down for us today. So if we start with the first question, how would you define what music publishing is?
I would say publishing is the lifeblood of any music creator, songwriter, producer. Your catalog is everything. There are lots of people who have music out that you've heard, that you hear every day, that don't own their music. And essentially, I think that publishing is the meat to your musical sandwich, as far as your career. And it's
Yeah.
important that, you are aware of that, one, and you understand the power of that. There's a reason why you could have a song Aria and someone would just offer you $150,000 advance, $50,000 advance. Real world examples. I know friends who didn't have a huge name that had a song that got hot and were offered $20,000 advances from their publisher. And, depending on where you are in your life, you may hop on that, you may not. Um, I would advise not to, because think about it. If someone offers you $20,000 for your publishing, that means that it's worth way more than that. But, you know, because this music game is a war of attrition, some people sign pub deals, some people don't. The friends that I know, the really successful friends, they don't stray away from publishing deals, but they say that get one when you have the leverage to get the right deal. Um, and the only way to even get that leverage is to understand the importance of your publishing. So, yeah, to answer your question, is everything.
Okay. So to get a bit more specific on that, would you say, so if you have a song, someone's offered you 20 grand for the publishing, does that mean that they're actually buying the actual song off you, and then they can do with that what they will?
So it depends on the agreement. But from my real world experience from my friends, I would say that they were offered a large amount of money in exchange for their rights on that particular song. And depending on where you are in your career, in your life, that may be a great opportunity. It's a song, I can make more songs. Or you could be like, no, I'm gonna wait it out, you know. And I can't say what's right or wrong, because think about it. If you have a song and a label wants to buy it from you, and they do, and the song never comes out, you win in that situation. Now, if you want to sign a publishing deal and give up all your rights to your publishing for an amount of time or term, then that's different. So I've seen it both ways. I've seen it offered on a particular song, and I've seen it offered on a particular deal. Like, hey, this song's amazing. I don't know who you are, but you're amazing. Here's a deal, which could be cool too, depending on where you are, in your life.
Okay. So if we talk then a little bit about sync and microsync, so how does that fit into the publishing realm?
So I love microsync and I love sync. Let's talk sync first. So with sync, I recently did a song on a show called Bigger that comes on BET Plus, and in that situation, I retained all my publishing. I was paid a fee, and then I get performance royalties from the show airing on television. So I have my performance royalties. I have a fee for the composition for the publishing. Both things I wouldn't be able to get if I didn't retain and own my publishing. It just gives you options. So that'd be the microsync side. The sync side. On the microsync side, if I have songs on YouTube videos that have over 10,000 views, then Song Trust goes in and collects royalties on those videos for me, which is awesome because currently I have a lot of music on the 85 South show. Very popular YouTube channel, over 2 million subscribers at this point now. And it's awesome to know that when I'm on there every week playing my original music, I'm being compensated for it because I own my publishing. Song Trust goes out and gets my publishing for me. So yeah, definitely I'm just a big on owning your publishing, big on publishing admin deals, which is what Song Trust is, and what I have with Song Trust, excuse me. And yeah, it just owning your publishing gives you the keys to your car, and when you have keys to your car, you can get in, you can drive, you can go wherever you want to go. Giving your publishing up puts you in the back seat. You have no say so. You're going wherever I want to take you. And a lot of times you get those advances, big or small, you don't see anything else until you write a certain number of songs. And sometimes it's write a certain number of songs, have a certain number of songs placed. So you could write 10 songs but have 2 placed all year. And so you're stuck in this cycle, in this deal. And they're not giving you any more money because they give you that advance that you sign your rights to wait for it. So it's a wormhole, but it's a very, very amazing subject. And I'm excited to hear more people talking about it. And it's just, and I think this is so cool, and I appreciate you allowing me to speak on it because more of us need to know. A lot of people are releasing music, don't even have publishing admin, don't even know anything about that. And so whenever I meet people like that, that's the first thing I say. I'm releasing music. Oh, do you have publishing admin? check out Songtrust. There are other options. Make sure you own and controlling your publishing.
Yeah, yeah. No, love it. And I think your enthusiasm on this topic, J.O.N, hopefully will get through to our listeners on the importance of this topic and really understanding it. So, so great to hear your advice on this. So we've talked about what publishing is and the rights of it and the importance of it as well. So how did you personally discover publishing as a possible income stream for you?
I got taken advantage of.
Okay.
So I was a part of a situation where I was working on a project, and I did most of the work on the project, did all the heavy lifting, but I didn't feel like the back end I was compensated like I should have been. And it wasn't even the publishing, more so it was the streaming revenue. But me being inquisitive about that made me realize, wait a minute, I just haven't had a publishing admin deal. I had one with TuneCore before, and when that ended, I was turned off by how that went. And so I just took a year and didn't sign any deal, and I didn't release any music. And then I had this situation where I had this project I was working on, and once it was completed and the way it went down, I thought, let me make sure that I'm aware of every opportunity that I have, that I'm owed. That's my right to make money with this project, especially with doing so much of the heavy lifting. I need to make sure that, no matter what goes on, that my business is straight. And so I started with publishing. I just started reading, Googling information, talking to friends. I had a few friends who had pub deals, and just talking to them about the deal and really going out of my way to educate myself. So one, I was never taken advantage of again, and two, so I could let other people know, my homies know what's going on, so they wouldn't be taken advantage of at all. And so that's what really piqued my interest in publishing, and make sure I understood what publishing is and my power when I got taken advantage of.
Okay. Well, as sad as that is, unfortunately, it seems to be a lot of the learning in this industry happens from being taken advantage of in some way or other, which is maybe not ideal. But the important thing is that we learn from these situations. So it's good.
No, for sure. This music journey is an abusive relationship in a way. I mean,
Yeah.
you really have to love it. You really have to love it. And if you don't, it finds a way of weeding you out. And so yeah, but that love, it just keeps you curious. It keeps you hungry. And and I'm just thankful that I didn't give up, for sure.
Yeah.
So
Awesome. No, that's good. That's good. And then looking a bit about, an artist's profile, and you kind of touched on this a little bit earlier. Do you need to be a well-known artist to be making money through publishing?
absolutely not. You just need to be an artist. You need to be releasing music. Like, I think sometimes we get in our own way so much. We make things way more complicated than they have to be. You make music. You enjoy making music. You started making music because you love making music, right? Okay, so once you make that music, put it out there. Don't be selfish. Don't hoard it. Like, share your gift. And once you do that, it makes room for more music to be created and more things to come out. So, no, you don't have to be a popular, famous, social media following. You just have to get started. You just have to go. Just do it. And then as you do it, it's addicting. You will release more music and more music. Currently, I'm releasing music every week, and I love it. Like, it's just, the excitement just does not get old of creating the cover art and posting it on my music and DistroKid and waiting on a day for it to post. Like, it's very addicting. So no, yeah, you don't have to be
cool.
famous at all. You just have to be about that action.
Yeah, no, love it. And I think a lot of people can relate to that, of just getting in your own head, finding a million reasons not to, put it out or whatever. One thing that you've said previously of like most musicians aren't making music, I found that hilarious because it's so true.
It's so true. It's so true. So, I think that if we just focus on expressing and not impressing, then you can't lose. I just want to express. This is my song. It may be stupid, but it's my song, and if I like it, there's at least one other person in the world that's gonna like my song, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm talking to Australia right now, right? No matter how weird my song is, somebody in the land down under gonna like that song, you know. But if I never put it out, if I just sit on it, if I just play these games with my mind, overthinking the song, that serves no one. That serves no one.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, expressing instead of impressing. I love that line.
Yeah, it's express. Just express.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's excellent. And one thing that you mentioned there about releasing music. So talking specifically about publishing, you have to have the music released before you make any money through publishing. Is that right? You can't just kind of try and sell it before it's out, or how does that work?
Correct. So I use DistroKid, and so when I upload a song on DistroKid, about 24 hours, I get what's called an ISRC code, and that code is like a social security number for your music, right? For that particular song. That number tracks the song, tracks the streams on the song, tracks the royalties on the song. So it's very important that you are aware of that, and that as soon as you upload your song, get that ISRC code, go to your publishing admin, and register that song with that code, and then allow them to track those streams and those royalties for you.
Okay, okay, cool. So you're making your music, you're putting it out through DistroKid, for example, and then you are putting that ISRC code into your publishing admin. So now tell us a bit about the publishing admin. So you mentioned Song Trust. So what do they do for you?
So two things, publishing admin. So they're not gonna give you a big advance. They're not gonna. It's not like a lot of bells and whistles. They're all about the publishing, all about the customer service, all about the education of publishing, which I love. Song Trust is awesome because I've been fortunate. This is amazing because it's just like serendipitous how this happened. I connected with someone personally that worked there. Now, I didn't do anything special. I just filled out the questionnaire, the survey that's on the website. But I got an amazing rep that reached out to me that had the questions. I shout out to George, and I've just been happy ever since I signed with them. I spoke to another situation I had earlier, and this is totally different for so many reasons, and I'm just really thankful that I made the decision to look into Song Trust for sure.
Okay, okay. So they will take care of the admin for you with the song. So then how does that song actually make you money? It's not just you upload it onto the details onto Song Trust and then it's magically generating money. So what then has to happen for you to make money from that?
So for me, what happens is every Friday on YouTube, the 85 South show comes on. We shoot every week, and every week I create the music on the show. The show is hosted by Carlos Miller, DC Young Fly, Chico Bean, and it's a comedy podcast. So I create the music, I play the music, with just the moves for the show. Sometimes they freestyle on these beats I play, uh, and through these songs being on YouTube and the YouTube videos garnering more than 10,000 views, Song Trust can then go and pull royalties from my music, my original music being used, to my catalog, because I own my catalog, because I own my publishing. So when you own your publishing, you can make the decision I could say, what, I don't want my music on there. I'm on the show, but I wouldn't do that. But because if I own the music, I can control it any way I see fit. So that's what's so important about controlling that music. But yeah, so that's what Song Trust does. Even with my streaming revenue, Song Trust then goes in. Now, DistroKid pays me my streaming revenue, but Song Trust pays me a mechanical royalty on that streaming revenue. So that's my DistroKid streaming revenue coming in. Song Trust, my publishing admin, gives me a mechanical royalty on those same streams. Again, something that I wouldn't own if I took an advance and gave that up. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. So just to kind of clarify this completely, so you register your song on Song Trust, and you've released that already, and then you might be using a part of that song in the 85 South show on the podcast. It could be just a little kind of snippet of it to create the mood, and you generate income from that podcast being on YouTube.
Yes, ma'am. Just like that.
That is amazing. It kind of sounds like magic.
No, it really is, and I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm doing that, then it's so funny. It's you're not in a rat race anymore. You're not caught in a rat race, and you can truly focus on expressing, like really expressing the music. And so yeah, I encourage everyone. Post an admin. Control your music. Control your music. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So there's the Song Trust and publishing admin, and then there's your own kind of PROs that each country has. Can you explain the difference between like in Australia they're called APRA, in the UK they're called PRS. I'm not sure exactly. I think there's a few in the US maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So can you explain what Song Trust might do for you that registering with your local PRO won't?
All right. So I'm a member of, in America, we have ASCAP, BMI, CSAC. I'm a member of ASCAP, and ASCAP will give me what's called performance royalties on my music. All right. So performance royalties to the right. Let's put this over here. All right. Song Trust gives you mechanical royalties. All right. So let's put this on this side. So you got your performance royalties, which would be radio, live performance. And then you got mechanicals, which would be your streaming, which would be micro sync. And so both deal in publishing, but two different jobs, two different streams of income. And having your ASCAP doesn't automatically mean you have your publishing admin. So it's important that we make that clear as well. Having your ASCAP, being my CSAC, it just gives you performance royalties. So you're leaving a whole nother set of royalties and revenue on the table without having your publishing admin in place. And the publishing admin doesn't have to be Song Trust, but it has to be a publishing administrator to get you those mechanical royalties.
Okay. So that's very clear. Thank you. And if you decide not to have a publishing admin, what happens to that money? Does it disappear? Is it there? Is it just unclaimed?
Well, I heard that money is sitting around unclaimed. That's what I heard. And I would hate to take a chance on my money being unclaimed. So I would definitely look into that if you got money out there. So if you have songs that you have out streaming on DSPs and you don't have a publishing admin in place, please don't stop this. Just keep this playing, but open a new window and Google publishing administrators in your country and get on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, get on that.
Yeah.
Because you got money on the table.
Okay. So very, very important, everyone. I hope you're grabbing the intensity with which J.O.N is telling me this right now. No, that's great. And what kind of artist would you say is most likely to be able to earn income through publishing? Is it kind of a songwriter, a producer, like a self-producing artist? Who would that be?
I would say all of the above, Xylo. I in my opinion, I think that there is no limitations on who can make money on publishing if you're releasing music. So that means if you're a bedroom producer and you don't have any artists in your area to work with, you have everything you need to start making money with your publishing, with controlling your music. Just release your tracks, put out your instrumentals. Don't leave anything on the computer because it serves no one, right? But you releasing your music, you don't know who that'll help get through their workout, who to help study for their test. Like, you're a vessel, so just focus on being that vessel. And the only way you can do that is to give. So give your art, So I would say that if you're a songwriter, Just get your song down. If you don't have a producer to produce your song, get your song down, record it with one instrument, piano or guitar, and put it out. There's no excuse, right? We give ourselves too many excuses when really and truly we should just be focused on expressing. Like, we're not going to limit anyone. Anyone making music can make money with your publishing. If you're a spoken word artist, if you're a poet, you could still make money from your art with your publishing. So no, I would say anyone who's releasing music can make music on their publishing.
Okay, excellent. All right. Well, I hope this has got a few people very excited about what their music can do for them as well. And you mentioned overthinking things. Is there something that you did for yourself to get over that mindset? Or did you just never have that at all and you were always like, no, I'm putting everything out? Because so many people get stuck with this.
I'm not going to lie to you and say that I always just put everything out. I would say that maybe I'm so aggressive about it is because I just had a light pop on after having a song that was supposed to go on an major artist album that didn't go on the album. I was so frustrated because it's like I'm jumping through these hoops to get these major labels' attention when I have everything I need. I have everything I need. And so what I should be focused on is trusting myself. Now, it's important to understand that you can't truly trust yourself unless you've spent time with your craft. The trust is built in the hours developing your craft. That's where the trust is built. If you don't put that time in, you're not going to feel what I'm about to say. It's going to sound real simple. But if you put the time in, if you know about the 10,000 hours, if you know about, planning your days and maximizing your days by focusing your time and attention on the details it takes to be a great musician or songwriter, then you understand exactly what I'm saying. You have to trust yourself, trust that work that you put in. And once you do that, you can't do nothing but put your music out and express. Because you're gonna be overflowing because you got so much coming. It's just a truly beautiful thing and a very freeing thing. I mean, think about it. It really doesn't matter what anyone thinks about your music. It's just about what you think. If you feel good about it, you gotta let it go. And so for me, it's like that's where I am with it. If it feels good, I'm letting it go. If it speaks to me, I'm letting it go. I'm not holding on to anything. I'm not doubting myself. I put too much time in and I've sacrificed so much to doubt myself ever when it comes to this. So it's just like reminding myself of that, reminding myself about how far I've come and where I want to go, right? And I can't go there doubting myself. I have to have complete confidence in myself. And the only way confidence is built through action, not by reading it in a book. It's built by action. So you got to get up. You got to make a plan. You got to get up, work that plan. And the confidence will come. The trust will come. And, you'll start feeding the streets with your music, and then people start asking you for your music, right? I love that thing you did. I love that thing you do because no one can do that thing like you do it. Like, I can't make music like Xylo. Like, I just can't. Like, no matter what I do, no matter how much I study. So, I think it's important that we just focus on how to sound like yourself, right? That's what we should be focused on. How do I sound like myself? And I think that there's where our power lies, right? That's your strength. Don't shy away from that. Like, that's what makes you unique, and that's what makes you stand out. So, like, yeah, that's what I would say. It's like going back to our morning routine, right? That morning routine is what allows me not to second guess myself, to trust myself. We have everything we need.
Oh, so much good advice there as well. And you were saying how to you got to learn how to be yourself, and that's so, so true. And everyone has their own experience, which makes them completely unique and special in who they are. But everyone, I mean, I think it takes a bit of building your confidence to get to a point to realize that. But I think a lot of people are just like, oh, how can I be like this person or like someone else, and they're trying to find other people, but really finding the power in knowing that actually there's no one more special than you,
Oh my
and
gosh.
to really embrace that.
You know, it's like Pharrell shouldn't inspire you to be like Pharrell. Pharrell should inspire you to be like you. You know,
Yeah.
like Michael Jackson should inspire you to be the best you, not be like Michael. You know, it's like because Michael couldn't have been Michael trying to be like somebody else, trying to be like Sammy Davis Jr. or James Brown. You know, he definitely took things from those greats, but he took it and made them his own. And it comes from just, again, the time, the work, you know, the process. You gotta have a process. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, no, love it, love it. So going back to the sync for a minute, do you, of course, you've got the podcast through which you kind of, that helps with your publishing. Is there anything else that you actively do to help to maximize the income from the publishing? Like, are you, would you recommend that artists kind of go out and look for their own version of that podcast or some other way to actually generate the income, or, put things on their own YouTube channel or anything like that?
I definitely have a YouTube of my own that I release content on weekly throughout the week. And, I definitely, there's a lot of work involved with getting syncs for me anyway. You have to be very proactive and reach out and let people know that, hey, I have a folder of music that I put new music in every month. So you can go to this folder and find different moods and vibes that you may be looking for your content that you're creating. I would say that, yeah, find someone with a YouTube channel. I was fortunate that I was in and from the beginning helped build the channel with him. But it's like if you have a friend or anybody with a podcast, allow them to put your music on their show. And if it gets to 10,000 views, hey, my publisher is going to come in and get my royalties. Some people I don't even charge them a licensing fee. They have a great popular channel. Allow me to put my music on your channel. And then, that helps both of us. So, yeah, no, you definitely got to work it. You definitely got to work it. I think that, again, putting out the songs is just the beginning. Like, it's really, literally just the beginning. Because there's so many ways you can get mileage out of those songs.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So again, just to kind of get this really clear, if you find someone who's got a great channel, by them putting your music on one of their videos, you get an income, and if you're not charging them, they maybe get to use a piece of audio for free, and it really is a win-win without either of you spending anything.
Yeah, for sure. It's a win-win. They get music for their original content, and you get, if it blows up, you get a percentage of whatever that, however many views, however many ads are ran on that video. According to that, you get some kind of percentage. I mean, it's impossible to estimate, but yeah, that's how it works.
Okay. That's been really exciting. Thank you for breaking that down for us, J.O.N. And looking at your career now a little bit, through everything that's happened from your start to where you are now, what would you say have been a couple of the biggest highlights for you so far?
I'm laughing because I rarely think about these things. So I got to really think back. And maybe I need to do a better job of that, but I just be so focused on the present and what I haven't done. But it's anything for you, Xylo. Uh, I think that working with Missy Elliott was really cool. This was years ago. Through a friend, her name is Chameleonaire. She's actually on this new show on HBO, but she's an amazing songwriter, artist. She has music. If you just Google Chameleonaire, you'll see her. Really amazing songwriter. She was a friend of mine. Has a personal relationship with Missy Elliott, and Missy had an artist that she was working on, and Chameleon thought I would be perfect to produce the idea, and so I brought in my boy D Clax, and we worked together, and it was so funny because we were working out of the studio in Atlanta, and I'm funny. Like when things like that happened or about to happen, I don't like to talk about it because I want it to happen. So I just want to see it before I say anything. My homeboy would told people in the studio, "Hey, J.O.N got Missy Elliott coming." You know, and everybody was like, "Oh, Missy Elliott not coming. Missy Elliott not coming." Sure enough, she pulled up, and it was cool. And she was really, really sweet, really cool, and had fun. So that was definitely a highlight. I would say winning a Grammy with my mentor, working on this album called "Turnaround" by this artist named Johnny Lang. So winning a Grammy, working on that, doing our production and engineering on that was really cool. I would say just being in Atlanta and surviving. That's quite the accomplishment. I've been there for a while, and Atlanta's an amazing place, a beautiful place, you know. But it's definitely it's not for the weak, I would say, especially when it comes to the entertainment, because people come over here every day for that. This is like the Hollywood of the South for real. So just to be here, to be surviving and doing what I want to do, be in a place where I can focus on expressing, it's a blessing for sure. Yeah. So yeah, I would say that's three cool things.
They're very, very cool things. That's awesome. And you know, we were talking about celebrating where you've come from, you know, and how far you've come. So I would say to keep thinking of those
No,
things,
for sure,
J.O.N.
for sure. And it's funny, like I'm just coming up with more things as I'm sitting there listening to you because I don't think about this often, but definitely traveling the world with the 85 South show. That's been amazing. It's been amazing seeing the impact of the show. It's a comedy podcast, and you know, we started. It was just me on a guitar and the guys at the table, right? Since then, and I never saw anyone with a guitar on a podcast, anyone doing music on a podcast. Since then, I've seen all kind of podcasts with guitar players and people doing music. So it's cool to see the influence. I've been on the road and before the show to see this us grown from like comedy clubs to theaters to now we're doing arenas. It's just really amazing to meet people before the show and they say things like, "J.O.N, I was about to kill myself." And then I saw an episode of the show and it brought me out of a 6 month depression. Like things like that that you just can't say anything but thank you for sharing and just feel grateful to be a vessel, you know, and to be adding value to people's lives like that. Like so I can't go on without saying that. That's definitely been a huge milestone and just one of the cool things I get a chance to be a part of for sure. So we're back on the road of March 4th.
That's exciting. Oh, that's so great. I'm sure you're very much looking forward to
Oh,
that.
it's gonna be exciting. I can't wait. Can't wait.
That's super cool. And yeah, thank you for sharing that with us as well. It's very, very special. And I think we forget the impact of music and you know, I'm sure that the show had a big part to do with that as well. But just how it can impact someone that, you know, you've never met or you don't even know exists. And just from them listening to something that you've made can completely change their life without you knowing about it.
It's deep. It's deep, you know, and I think that and you don't set out to do things like that. You know, you just do your thing. But none of that's possible if I'm sitting on my music. If my music on a hard drive, if I'm not actively being intentional about my music business, my publishing, then those things can't happen. And I can't add value to people's lives. You know, you don't know how your music may touch someone, your song may move someone, you know, may inspire someone. You know, and I think that you owe it to yourself not to be selfish with your gift. Yeah.
I love that. So we've talked about some of the great things that have happened in your career, and I'm sure there's loads more that we haven't gone through at the moment. But talking then about your biggest challenge so far.
Hmm. I would say up until a few years ago, the biggest challenge was just surviving. Surviving and making music in that place. You know, some great songs can be written in a place of lack. And some great things can be created in a place of lack. But I got to the place where I didn't want to be creating from that place anymore, you know, and I know a lot of y'all can relate to this, you know. So working a job, doing your music, like it can be very taxing, you know. But what I realized and what I discovered is when I got off my job, making music was the escape I needed, because again, it's like you're creatives. It's in you. It's not on you. So when you're not doing that, you're not. You don't feel. I don't feel like myself. I don't. You know. So it's important to find that balance in that, and that was hard for me. And then once I found that balance, I was good. Like I retreated to the music, and then once I really got in my zone, I was excited about going to work so I can get off to get to my music. So I would say that what I would categorize that as mental toughness and understanding the importance. You don't have to be an athlete to be mental tough, and actually studying that and like looking, reading books on that, because that's what it comes down to. Even when you talk about doubt and second guessing your gifts, it's just about mental toughness, right? It's about understanding that you have everything that you need. And in those moments where I feel overwhelmed, I would think on those things. Uh, and that's what keeps me going. I mean, still to this day, there's always going to be something. Even when you're not working a job and you're working for yourself, there's always going to be something with anything, right? There's always going to be something. There's always going to be ebbs and flows, highs and lows. So, but we have to be consistent. We have to be consistent in our action, in our intention, you know. Um, and when you can't lose. So I would say that just surviving, just understanding how the importance of balance when it comes to pursuing this, understanding that I can't be making music all day, 24/7. Sometimes I have to live life, and let life inspire the music. Like just understanding that for sure, which is just a journey. It's just a journey, and honestly, it's a lot. It kind of coincides with life in a lot of ways, like, and life inspires the music.
No, that's great. And that's a challenge that I'm sure all of our listeners can relate to. And it's a very real one as well. And just learning how to navigate that is going to be the make or break, really, if you want to do something with your music. So that's great. And one thing that you mentioned as well before about your mentor. So can you tell me, like, how do you go about finding mentors? Is that something that's just kind of naturally come about, or is that something that you really went to seek out? So how does that relationship help you and potentially the mentor as well?
I've always been an advocate of mentors and mentorship. And like I've always been smart enough to know that I don't know everything, and it's really cool to be around people who know more from me. Like I'm not intimidated by that. That excites me. Teach me something. You know? And so for me, but on the flip side, whenever I said I want a mentor, that never worked out for me. It usually just happened. You know, what would happen is I would say, put in my mind, I need a mentor, and then serendipitously it would come together. But whenever I would like seek out, like, yo, will you be my mentor? It never worked out like that.
Okay,
The
yeah.
guy who was my mentor, Drew Ramsey, Grammy award-winning guitarist, songwriter, producer, worked a lot extensively with India Ari. Like I was able to work on India Ari's third project. Voyage to India was the record that he was really known for. He produced it with his production partner, Shannon Sanders. These guys are the most amazing musicians, songwriters, producers that I know. They're in Nashville. And so when I was in Nashville, he was my mentor, took me under his wing, taught me so much. And I'm just forever grateful for that. So yeah, having a mentor is like, man, if you can find someone willing to make time for you and share the game with you, man, that's invaluable, but it's just about finding the right person, the right thing. Because relationship wise, it has to be right. It's like dating someone. Like the chemistry has to be there personality wise. You know, they gotta want to share with you. They gotta want to give you the game, and that's nothing that you can beg for or ask for. They gotta want to give it to you. So that's why I'm always fortunate and just grateful anytime I have someone that's willing to sow into me, you know. So yeah, for sure. If you can, definitely find you a mentor, please. And if not, just find you people that you admire that you can watch and admire from a distance until you can.
Yeah. Again, very, very useful stuff there, and important to know as well. And yeah, you can spend your own lots of time trying to work it out on your own and making loads of mistakes, or you can find someone that's made all those mistakes and learn from them in half the time.
For sure.
So
You still gotta make those mistakes. Like, mistakes are the price of admission. You know, like, you gotta make those mistakes, but you can't lose. There's no L's if you really think about it, because each misstep is a learning process. Is a edge. Oh, I know not to do that. Oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't lose. There's no wrong answers when it comes to your journey. You know, so don't beat yourself up over mistakes. Like, if it didn't kill you, you keep it moving. Take that lesson and keep it moving.
exactly. Very, very true. And I think this is one of the big differences between people that have been successful and people that have not is the people that have been successful learn from their mistakes, and the people that don't are too scared to make them, so don't actually do anything. So yes, I think very, very important. And to see, if you're not making mistakes, you're probably not really learning.
You're probably not doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly right. So that's been super useful, J.O.N. I think we've gotten a lot more information from you than just publishing, and I'm sure it's going to be a huge amount for people to take in that's really going to help them with their music as well. So before I let you go, we do have a couple of questions, and you have sort of
Awesome.
touched on them already from our audience. So there's one from Uzi Captor Records, and they asked, what is your advice on putting together a good administrative deal with a publishing agency?
I would say look at more than one company. That's first and foremost. I would say look for a company that, for me, it was important that I, one, owned my music. Two, the less they took from me, the better, as far as percentage-wise. Now, the cool thing about Songtrust is the features that they offer and the insight and the education. Like, I didn't mind paying my yearly fee that I paid. I didn't mind the percentage that they take, because it was worth it, I felt. So you have to make the decision for yourself, depending on the other services. There are plenty of publishing admin options out there and available, and they all are a little different in their own way. So just take your time and look over, the details. But that's what I would say, for sure.
Okay. Yep. Okay. That's good. Good to note. And then we have another one from Safia Elena. So Safia asked, can money through only publishing ever be as much as earning money through masters?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
I would say I'm laughing because it's really funny that that's possible. But yeah, because think about it. Let's say you have a song that you guys synced during the Super Bowl that's coming on this Sunday, right? Your song synced in a Super Bowl commercial this Sunday. That song, publishing, will probably pay more than the streams on that song. I mean, that's like prime time, creme de la creme advertising time. Oh my gosh, like, can you imagine how much revenue you can build publishing-wise from having your song played during the Super Bowl commercial? That'd be crazy. But let's say you have a song on a Grey's Anatomy, on a popular TV show. This could be a song that probably got 1,000 streams, but because it's on the TV show, you're going to get paid from ASCAP, from being on the TV show. You're going to get streaming revenue now because the song's on TV, so you'll get Songtrust mechanical royalties on top of that. So yeah, definitely. You could definitely make more money in publishing in certain circumstances and situations, I would say.
Okay. And that was very convincing as well with the yes, you can.
Yes, you can.
So yeah, that's great. Okay, well, thank you so much, J.O.N. Really, really appreciate you sharing your knowledge with us and taking the time as well. And are you going to sleep after this, or are you still working?
You know what?
Or what's...
I'm gonna work a little bit and then I'm gonna lay down.
Okay.
Probably lay down to about 1 midnight. Make sure I get my adequate hours, so I can get up and have a great workout and start my Tuesday.
Okay. Well, that's what, 5 hours? It doesn't sound like a whole lot.
Oh no! Look, Xylo, I'm gonna get a nap later on Tuesday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Naps are great.
Yo, naps. I just don't understand people who shun naps. Like, how can you be so disrespectful? Naps are our gift from God, and what we do with them is our gift back to Him. Like, are you serious? Like, come on, naps are essential. Naps are essential for sure.
Love it, love it. Okay, all right. Well, we'll let you get to the rest of your work and then your refreshing sleep for your day tomorrow. But thank you. It's been an absolute pleasure.
No, thank you, Xylo. I'm honored to be here. You have inspired me in so many ways. I'm actually working on my Discord and building a community for producers here as well, because I just see that there's a need, and I think I have some insight, technical and other, that probably could help one or two people. So I really appreciate the opportunity, and I thank you. I thank you so much, and I'm excited about working with the women, the music producers. I'm excited about collabing. I'm excited about hearing your music. And anytime I can be a part of you guys' Discord again, I'm down. I love it. Like, I'm with it. Call me.
Excellent. Thank you. We will do. We really appreciated your advice as our industry guest last time, so we will be keen to get you back on there. So thank you so much, and I hope you have a great rest of your night, J.O.N.
I shall. Shout out to the music producers for women. Peace, y'all.
Thanks. Bye.